about teamwork. So I would like to know how people influence your life in your music career. Thank you.
Okay, so let's say you are going to record, you're going to the studio, and you have your idea, and you go in there and you tell the engineer, do this, do that, do this, do that, do that. What you are doing is you are just going straight to your spirit and do the work. But you need a team around you first. First of all, who is your financial advisor? You have to have that. Who is managing you, because you cannot manage yourself. And once you have that team, who is grooming you? Who is making sure that when you go out there, you say the right things? Who is making sure that you look good when you go out there? Or if you want to look rough, how rough, can you get? And so you have all this. Before you go to the studio, it's a teamwork between you, the engineer, the backing singers, the guitarists, and everybody. So you have to be ready and open for that. One thing I learned from working with Osibisa is that when we are in the recording studio and we are recording, any idea is tested. And if it fits in, it makes the song last longer. And that is why teamwork is very, very important. Most of these modern artists have a nice team around them. I know Adam, he has a very nice team around him. And when I see them work, I say we should tell the younger people who are now coming into our world. Also, once I'm here, let me say this. The songs that you write are very important. Maybe that is why I'm so relevant here, because if you listen to songs like Snamin Chan, Mami Bo, these are songs that I arranged and produced. If you go to Wow, they saying, oh, Quaye, there's so many songs, and my songs, Belembe, Awoi, these are songs that I arrange, and I make sure that my music background comes in there, and I know it will last, after I've gone. So that's why teamwork is very important.
Anyone else? I think we'll take, can we have the microphone to her? Please introduce yourself. Let's know exactly who you are, what you're studying. And then, of course, you can go ahead and ask the question. We're addressing the questions to Mr. Simons for now, and then he would leave. He has to leave, so I think about 2 more questions. So let's go.
Good morning. Please, I'm Amiesi Aochi, and he's we have songs like Jampan, and then we have songs like Atadra. And then I want to know the up and coming artists, if you want to create like good music. This is Ghana, like good music doesn't really sell. Like you go to the studio, you record a good song, and people will tell me, oh, remove this, add this, it won't sell, it won't hit. But then you see good musicians like Sina Soul who creates like a good song, and will come and stand on this stage, and people will just sit down and look at her like, okay. Then Atadra should come, and you see people will jump to that song. So I want to know.
That's a very good question. Very, very good question. You see, in the music industry, we have so many markets that you can go in there. But let me say this before I forget. I tell every young musician, in your lifetime, please write one sensible song. In your lifetime, this is a free consultancy. Write one sensible song. But you know what you said about Sina Soul? The kind of music Sina Soul does, is just like what Checheku does. These people are making more money. That kind of music, you will go all over the world if you market yourself well. Look at Kina Isoba. His music is not popular, but he's touring the whole world. You understand? So if you have a good song, please record it and find the market. There's market for every music. But would you like to be a local hero, or you want to conquer the world? If you want to conquer the world, write good music and take it outside of the world.
Yeah, let's go. And then there's one more question here, and then we are done. I have one question, so just in case they don't ask it, I'll ask it on your behalf, and then we go. All right.
My name is Justice, and I wanted to know the measures in place for an upcoming artist in music, like measures in place in order to help an upcoming artist.
My name is Augustina Adology, and his uncle B. He's talking about teamwork. I know there are a lot of challenges when it comes to teamwork. So please, I would like you to share some of the challenges you went through during your teamwork and then how you overcame them. Because when it comes to us as a group work, you find it difficult working as a team. Thank you.
Let me start with the teamwork. You see, luckily, musicians respect themselves when it comes to recording. We respect everybody, we respect the guitarist, we respect the bass player. If we don't have that, you will not sound good. So, on the campus, if you want to start, when you are a team, respect everybody's idea, because you don't have his idea and she does not have your idea. Once you respect it, you will come to realize that, I didn't think about it that way. And that is how we move forward. So when it comes to teamwork, everybody's idea matters. So please remember that. Now for the up and coming artists, when you come to music, we give you a lot of workshops where you will know how to come up. I mean, I have a grooming private school that I groom up and coming artists, because I don't want them to come and then, meet so many disappointments. So at the same time, we do center stage, because I'm a musician. So now that I'm acting, I'm making sure that all the skills that I have, I give it to the young people. And if I didn't get 10 people to take it, then we know we're getting somewhere. So we have things for up and coming artists. And also, we just got Uptown Music to come and give us a discount on our members putting their music on their streaming music. So a lot of things for you. Whilst I'm here, let me say this before I forget. Coming to Ghana, first thing I realized is that as Ghanaians, we have so many excuses. I'm one of them. We have plenty excuses, but going out there, please, forget about every excuse. It doesn't matter, It doesn't matter about the Benko and Okosu we ate yesterday, so I couldn't come to work. I'm saying this because we had a national service personnel. She was so good. So after that, I connected her to a foreign company. And, being as Ghanaians with our excuses, and that's saying, so he said, my manager is complaining. I said, what is the matter? So I couldn't go to work. I said, as a Ghanaian, realize that you are full of excuses. And if you go there, keep your excuses to yourself and work. Also, we have targets. Make sure you finish your target before you leave work. Don't say, I'm going home and come back and finish tomorrow. No, finish your work before you go. And the last one, before you ask your question, when you go, there's money in music. I'm telling you, now that A-list artists are commanding 80,000 a show. And they've worked very hard. Yeah, some are all the way down to 20,000. So there's money in there. And don't get disappointed. In life, there are only two words. Yes and what? No. Yes means, yes, you got a job, come and do it. No means there are so many doors open. Go and find it. Thank you.
My question is directed at Apefa. My name is Holani. I would simply want to know the processes I would have to go through if I want to have my internship with Media General, and probably the requirements needed. Thank you.
Hello, please, I'm Amazing. Please, my question is to the below man. Please, spooky. He said you do a lot of things, like different stuff. You see, we are students, and then some of us we braid and do makeup and do other like side jobs. And then sometimes it eats into our study time, and then how can we combine everything? And also my question is to Uncle George. And please, you see, there are lots of young artists here. We have Gunny Boy, we have Trap. Then we have people who are really recording like good songs, myself. But then there's no like category, although we have the unsung category there. But then I was thinking maybe if you have something for like students or help them get a management or office where they can like walk in and show their talents, maybe they will pick them or something, because there are people who are really good. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so the very last question you asked is actually for me, but then it's also for a colleague who is coming to speak. So Charterhouse has got a project for that, and there's a rep from Charterhouse here who will address that for people within campuses. So right now, let's just focus on the blue man.
Okay. So I'm from the entrepreneurial side. Okay, I've never worked for anybody full time. Right from school, I decided I was going to do my own thing because I thought I was a rebel. Not as rebellious as she is, but I thought I was a rebel. So I've always done my thing. Now the thing is, you're here to get a degree, right? And there are certain basic things you need to be able to survive in the real world. If you're not going to work for anybody, I would say, okay, that's cool. But still, you need certain basic, you need to learn the principles of school. The things you're taught in school is not just because they're teaching you. Yes, I would admit there are certain things you're not supposed to learn, but we find it in our curriculum, so we don't have a choice. But nothing you learn is wasted. Okay, so make sure you go through the process of what is taught in school. I know you have side businesses and things you want to do on the side. Nothing stops you from doing that, but just balance your time. Because at the end of the day, if you fail, you would have to come back and do a reset or forfeit your degree. And then that becomes even more frustrating. But when you have a degree, you can be somebody who braids hair, who has a degree. The places you can walk into Stanbic Bank, Stanchart, wherever, and dress properly and say, this is what I do, and hand them over a call card. Okay? And your degree will also open doors for you so you can do what you love doing. So don't ever compromise on that. Okay? Just make sure that you stick to what you're doing, what you're supposed to be doing here, but make sure you develop the other side, because when you get to the real world, that's when all of these things come together to direct your path. Good?
So to answer your question, first of all, I like your voice. George and I were saying that we like your voice. In future, you should do radio or do voiceovers. The person to speak to is George Quaye. To do your internship in TV3 or Media General is nothing difficult. All you need to do is bring your letter of internship. We'll share it with the HR. When you come in, we've started doing something where interns come, we try and test them for basic general knowledge. It's nothing difficult, but it has to do with English, general knowledge, maths. So you just bring it, it's nothing difficult. It's just for us to kind of, it's just kind of screening, trying to screen the people that come through. Like I said earlier, there are basic things that you need to know. You just don't need to know only acting, dancing, directing, and all. It's just, a test for it all. So that's all that you need to do, really. Then when they want to call you, they'll just give you a call and come. A lot of you think that certain big agencies, you can't approach them for internship or national service. But all you need to is probably just walk in. And when I was going to Charterhouse for internship, I was, national service, I was told that, in Charterhouse, you need to know somebody, or you need to find somebody, they said all sorts of things. And like I told you, I don't say no. You don't tell me no unless it's impossible. So I walked to Charterhouse one day, sent my letter, sat down. That day I had to do an interview. I don't know what I said. I didn't. The question they asked that I prepared for, I couldn't even answer it. But just the fact that I walked there, and I was confident confident that I'll get this job, I got it. So sometimes you don't need to know anybody really. And especially Chatterhouse and TV3, they're looking for very fresh minds, people with creative minds. So just take that bold step. It's nothing complicated.
Why Ghanaians have made creativity so down to an extent that even if somebody wants to take money or extract money from up and coming talents, since they know they don't have help, they just bring up something just to take the money from all these people, and at the end of the day, some don't even get to the point of even taking their money back or getting profit from what they invested in. And I think there are certain personalities in the creative field, like DJs and all these people, who are being paid for their work. But at the end of the day, since we don't have structures to at least help the up-and-coming acts or help the up-and-coming talents, they end up falling into going into the studios, creating music, putting up content, and at the end of the day, after paying so much amount of money, they come and some DJ will be at a corner in a pub and will take money from that artist, and even shows. Even if you want to perform on stage as an up-and-coming artist, you have to still pay. Meanwhile, it's because of the music that they are there. And I want to ask whether there are structures being put in place to check all those things so that up-and-coming also at least do something. Thank you. It's directed to Quaye.
Okay, Raphael. Mine is a general question anyway. What are we, the youth, as artists, supposed to do that we are not really paying attention to?
Hi, I'm Ebenezer Thompson, and my question is either to George Quaye or Apefa. Yes. So internships are good and all, but sometimes it just doesn't cut it. What if you want more experience? You want to be under someone's arm to mentor you because you really want to probably pursue a certain path, say broadcast journalism or communications on air. Is there any structure or any mentorship program or maybe aside internships that you could be doing while you're in school, maybe on the weekends or on Saturdays or something, that would help you maybe spend more time and then hang in the industry and be more ready aside internship?
Let us speak to the first gentleman's question about the creative industry. When I spoke earlier, I did mention that even in my own house, when I wanted to take this path, my dad didn't quite agree. He wasn't in favor. And you cannot blame him much because back in those days, you didn't see a lot of wealthy people from the creative arts. I remember we once had an interaction and he said, okay, you want to go into the creative space. Name one person that you want to be like. Who was I going to mention? Super Udi? Or SK or Paul, Ajos, Atab Mensah. No offense to these people, but the creative arts in our part of the world hasn't paid as compared to other parts. Because I'm sure we had the same conversation in the United States, and I said I wanted to be like Al Pacino, or Denzel Washington, or you name it, anybody. Yeah, he would have been happier. But we didn't have people we could look for it. So I remember my dad specifically said, if you said you wanted to be a doctor, I could mention names of doctors you could be like. Engineers, I could mention names of engineers you could be like. You want to go into acting and singing and performing and all that, name one person that you want to be like. But thank God today the story is different. If my son or daughter tells me, I want to grow up to be like Sarkodie, I'll be happy. I want to grow up to be like Samini, I'll be happy. Even if he tells me I want to grow up to be like Shatawale, I will manage it. You know why? You know why? Because unlike some 20, 30 years ago, today it is putting a lot of food on the table. It is putting more than enough food on the table. Our artists have built mansions. Our artists are driving the best cars. And all those, you understand? I know life is not about all those things, but that is show business. Our artists are living comfortable lives. Better lives today than yesterday. Now, the gentleman asked how young acts could break through. Nobody said it was going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. I remember some 12 or so years ago, Sarkodie spoke to me about a certain Kim Promise. He wasn't out by then, but we all had our eyes on him, following him. You do this, bring it, and oh, we'll listen some more, oh, do that, do that, do that. Look, the truth is that Adepa eton neho. If your music is good, it would sell itself. If you take your time and do it very well, you would not have to pay Viola. There are musicians who just need to drop it on social media and the world picks it up. If you take your time, go through the modules. If you take your time, work it, get people to listen to it and advise you. There are people in the industry that, look, I get people send their songs to me on a daily basis. Daily basis. You listen, you advise, you listen, you advise. The ones that we sometimes don't understand what it is they are singing or going on about, you pass it to the legends like this man here. Because they deal with the musicians a lot more. They get to hear more music every day. They write with light. So yes, it's not going to be easy. It shouldn't be easy, but it is possible. And you just need to tell yourself that I'm not going to do disposable music. I'm going to do music that will last a lifetime. Yes, once in a while, somebody may throw something in the Apefa, one corner, one of the most useless songs I ever heard, but it was a global sensation. You understand? I mean, production-wise, everything-wise, you could question it in whatever way you want. But things like that do happen. Sometimes, depending on what's trending all the times, this generation, sometimes I find it even difficult to understand myself. I find it very, very, very difficult. In our time, the craziest thing was crisscross, wearing your shoe left, right, or different colors, your pants, turn it around. It was the craziest thing. But this generation, you people, we don't understand. So yes, but you need to understand that if it is just for the trend, it's just for what is happening, it's not going to last. It will pass very, 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 very quickly. So like Mr. Simon said earlier on, do music for today, tomorrow, and forever. And trust me, it will pay off. It will be difficult, but it will pay off.
Yeah, okay, so I wanted to add, the gentleman who was very passionate was talking here. Okay, so there's this mentality as creative people we have. Listen, nobody owes you anything. Get that thing out of your head today. No one owes you anything. The DJ doesn't owe you to play. He doesn't have to play your music. The stations don't have to play your music video. No one owes you anything. The moment you get that out of your head today, then you realize that you are like a creative orphan. Nobody's there for you. You create it yourself. Did you get my point? I remember when I was starting out, I used to approach artists and say, Charlie, let me shoot your music video. Yeah, okay, yeah, but who are you? Okay. Years later, they came to me, said, Charlie, we beg, shoot our music video for us. I didn't owe them, they didn't owe me. But when you stick to something, when you find something you're doing, you stick to it over time. He said King Promise. I heard of King Promise like 15 years ago. A long time ago. He's been at it, and he's doing it. And he doesn't say, hey, the DJs are not bringing my music, I have to pay Payola. No. He's just doing it. Do you know when Sarkodie started? You think the Sark you're seeing now, you think that's it? No, see, you think Sark has hit now. When he was a hit, now he's hitter, right? Yeah, that's hitters. Well, that's the thing. Nobody owes you anything, so don't even think that somebody has to play your music. That DJ who you think is a gatekeeper who's stopping you created value for what he's doing, be it right or wrong. Create value for yours, and people will come to you. One last thing, network, and this answers her question, but I just want to say, because I'm from the informal side. See, there are so many people out here who know what they are doing, they've done it, they have expertise, they have experience. Me, I'll share with you. he will share with you. Just don't catch us at the wrong time. Don't DM somebody at 1 a.m. I mean, yo, do you get my point? But know how to do it. Hi, I want to learn this. So that instead of your internship, or instead of, in addition to your internship, which you're going to do from Monday to Friday, the Saturday, instead of hanging out with your friends, find someone, go on set, pick up somebody's slides, go and sit in the studio, listen to somebody's music. Go and sit in the radio station and just be quiet and watch people come in and come out. The artists come in on Saturday to promote their music. When they are done, oh boss, can I take a picture? Oh boss, can I have a number? 20% of them will say yes. The rest will say no. But it takes time.
And very quickly before Robert takes over, if you're going to intern with somebody, some of you, one person spoke about, oh, it's not all the time, you just want to look up to somebody. Volunteerism is allowed. And if you're going to volunteer to follow somebody, empty your cup and be humble. When you speak to Hammer of the last 2 productions, he will tell you that artists that came, the Sarkodias, the Adams, the Paucases, the Obrafos and Coes, they used to polish his shoes, they used to carry his bag, wash his car and everything. Not because he was disrespecting them, but you needed to learn humility. And trust me, humility is the most beautiful word in English. Empty your cup, don't think you know too much, be ready to learn. Once you're ready to learn, when you get to know, the world will know.
I think they answered the question, but just to touch on something they didn't mention. A lot of these personalities or people in influential places are doing a lot of mentorship programs. So they have. I do a lot of that. I do most of the times. I have about 80% of them as women, because I don't know. Automatically they come. They are the ones who come. But we do it. But you need to pick the right mentor. Pick the right person you want to understudy or to learn the job from. You can't go and pick just anybody, because at the end of the day, all you'll be doing is probably go and buy me granules, go and buy me banana. And you like that a lot in job places. In my job place, I put a stop to that. I said, did we come here to buy us granules? So please, when you are directing, make sure she also does part of it. So don't cut yourself short at all. Some of you are too desperate. You're too desperate. So like you say, be humble. You be humble and sleep on the floor, you're humbling yourself. You can't do that. You have your what do you call it? You have your self-worth. You know yourself. So yes, be humble, but don't be over-humble. Especially the women, don't over-humble yourself. It's not by force. Like you said, we don't owe you, you don't owe us too. We all want to learn at the end of the day. We also want help at the end of the day. So if you think this is going to be a problem for you, you cut off it and go to the next person. Okay, you learn yourself. You learn. Don't expect me to be doing only the learning for you.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, let's show appreciation for our panelists. Shall we all rise? And if you can take a picture, we're going to have our next set